There, now I look like my VTuber model. Holy crap, it's here. Shadow Generations Dark Beginnings is here, and we're gonna break it down. Yeah, no, I gotta put some kind of shirt on. Hold on. There we go, that's much better. Alright, no more dilly-dallying. Let's watch these 3 episodes, and let's break it down. Got the first episode pulled up right here. We're gonna watch through it. We're not gonna do a reaction. I've already seen it, but we're gonna watch through it. We're gonna break it down and see what cool things we can find, what details we can look for. Episode 1, Shadow and Maria. This beginning part was a big fake out for a lot of people, because a lot of people thought this was... This beginning part here was a big fake out, because a lot of people thought that it was the beginning of the raid on Space Colony Ark, because this is how it looks at the beginning of that phase of the raid. But it turned out to be a fake out.
Hurry! You have to...
What's wrong?
Nothing. Look.
It's lights.
It's the Aurora Borealis. You don't see the magic in there. Up here. It's the hole. The hole.
Maria.
So we get a very cool look at Maria's updated design. Let's full screen this real quick. We get a very well-detailed 3D anime style model of Maria, and it's a massive glow up to what she had in earlier games. She looks great in this animation style, and so does Shadow, and this is also, I believe, the first time we really see her disease, and which neuroimmune deficiency syndrome is what it's called. It's the first time we actually see it affecting her, which I'm actually surprised it took them this long to show that.
Thank you. I just pushed a little. That's all.
No, gravity, you don't keep your condition. You should know better to assert yourself.
I know. You're right. When it comes to the beauty of the bird, I can't help myself. I can't wait for the day when we can finally return.
I was created here. I don't know if that's the case for me on Earth. Professor Gerald made me the ultimate life form. I should be the key to all manner of medicines. Curing.
Slight anger outburst. I'm not exactly sure where this comes from. I doubt Shadow was this angry while he was actually on the Ark. Like I said, I've seen this all before, and I should have said this earlier. Spoiler warning. I'll put a spoiler warning up at the beginning of the video during editing. But this is all a dream. I don't think Shadow would have made such an action during his actual time on the Ark.
You.
Maybe he could have been a little angry, but I doubt he would go so far as to punch the floor in disappointment over one thought.
Doing your best. I'm just as happy to spend time with you here while you both research.
Here, we get a good look at Emerald. Okay. Something I want to emphasize here. You can see how absolutely massive the Space Colony Ark is. They said, I believe, in lore that they completely wiped out everyone on the Ark during the raid. And we see Emerald there, so we know that Shadow is not the only experiment on the Space Colony Ark. Something I want to see deep dived into in the future is some of the other experiments going on the Ark. And I want to see other doctors that could be there. I want to know what other things were going on there, because Shadow couldn't have been the only thing there. They couldn't have built this massive mini-moon-sized space colony just to house Shadow and the Biolizard. We know that because Emerald was there.
That robot was heading towards Grandfather's lab. Shadow, you have to save him!
That right there, that was the first proof that this is all, Yep. That's the first proof this is all an illusion of some kind.
I'll handle this. Just wait here. I'll be back. I promise.
This right here is an amazing transition. Watch this. The fade to black and the return. Oh, that's beautiful. We get a good look at Dr. Gerald Robotnik here. He again has a massive glow up from when we last saw him. And we have a look at all these other tubes. What were going on in here? Some kind of tube in a tube, it looks like. Maybe these were other life forms they were holding, or maybe these are power cells. Okay, so apparently there was no liquid in them. It looked like there was liquid in them, but it looks like there isn't. Then again, this is a memory, or at least some kind of illusion, so we don't know for sure. Something I want to point out here. Watch how Shadow does his spin attack, and then immediately after, Emerald also does a spin attack, showing that he's learning from Shadow as they fight. There's a lot of scribbles on the wall. I think most of this is just nonsense to fill out the room. I don't think there's actually anything hidden on the walls here. There might be to someone's more trained eye, but as far as I can tell, it's mostly just nonsense that could have been written by the Doctor. I'm so glad they went dark with this. They reminded us that this man was executed by firing squad. I want that to sink in for a second. Firing squad.
Professor, we must...
What was that? Something flashed red for a second. If I slow the video down, playback speed, let's go 0.5. Oh. Some kind of star shape, it looks like. That might be Black Doom. I think that's Black Doom. Or at least his one-eyed avatar star thing that he flies around as. This is something else. Some kind of... What is this? Vortex. Kind of... Oh yeah, we're still at 0.5 times speed. Let's speed it back up. Yeah, I don't think there's anything on here that we need to break down. This hurt. This hurt when I first watched it. It still hurts looking at it now. It is a beautiful shot, but it still hurts to look at. This poor girl was gunned down. There's some kind of... I believe this is Emerald, maybe? There's hands coming out. Maybe it's Black Doom. Black Doom only had one eye. He's got... Oh, is this his maxed power? Is this the final boss? Did the final boss have 3 eyes or just 1 eye? In the final boss of Shadow the Hedgehog, these look like his hands. I don't remember if he had 1 eye or 3 eyes. Back in the present, we're back with actual Shadow here. There's no more illusions. I love the lightning
was
effect
no
they
mere
gave him.
nightmare. And it all began in view of the Ark.
And they brought back the blown up moon. I'm so glad they finally did that. They finally addressed the moon. I'm concerned about the massive amount of debris there. Does moon rocks ever just... do they ever just fall onto the Earth? Does that happen? Do moon rocks fall onto the Earth? You can see the Ark down here. A very detailed look at the Ark. Again, this thing is absolutely massive. There's no way just Shadow and the Bio-Lizard were experimented on here. There's got to be some other type of experiments that were going on.
Could he have
there.
survived?
If we're lucky, there might be some explanations as to what was going on during the game once it releases.
No, that can't be. I need answers.
Also, if you saw, let's backtrack just a little bit. Right around here. Right there. That Chaos Emerald. That's also the same Chaos Emerald that we earn in the original game of Sonic Generations when you fight the Shadow boss fight. That's the Chaos Emerald that you get. So I love that extra little attention to detail. Then it glitches out, fades to black, and then there's credits. Okay. Finding a Way. Dark Beginnings, Episode 2. Let's see what through here we can break. Contains flashing light and other strobing content. Could affect photosensitive / epilepsy. Warning, you have been warned. Alright. Moving on. We get a look at the young general, the general of Gun. I love that detail. It's never really addressed. When people say Shadow was the only, people often say that Shadow was the only survivor of the Space Colony arc, but it's very, very rarely addressed that he, the general, also survived the arc. And there's also, like, a million other people on the Ark. Like I said, it's a massive colony. Surely there must have been other survivors, right?
That freak should stay away from me!
Also, he calls Shadow a freak.
Shadow, are you alright?
Maria, I'm fine.
That's a really thick glass right there. It's like a full, like if we take Shadow and flip him on the side, it's like a full foot of glass almost.
It's just... the professor created me using alien DNA.
Again, addressing Shadow's alien origins.
The Black Arms, he called them. The same DNA as this... larva.
So I know in Shadow the Hedgehog, the hit game from 2005, there's a small clip where Gabe, the general, sees Black Doom with Dr. Robotnik, or Gerald, and he sees them together. He knows what Black Doom looks like, but I don't think Maria actually ever sees Black Doom. I think all Maria ever knows about the Black Arms is this little larva.
This ugly, heartless creature. I may look like a hedgehog, but I'm really no different than this thing.
Hold on. Okay, it doesn't look like there's anything else in the background we need to look at.
Thing.
Another hug tackle from Maria.
That's not true. You have a big heart. It may...
Okay, hold on, back up a little bit.
I'm really
Back up a
no
sec.
different than this thing.
The hug tackle. I noticed someone else on Twitter pointed this out. For the life of me, I can't remember who pointed it out, but this kind of explains a small plot. It kind of retcons a small plot point. Well, not retcons, more explains a small plot point in Sonic Adventure 2, where Amy jumps on Shadow thinking he's Sonic, and Shadow barely reacts. This might be why, because it reminded him of Maria. I thought that was really cool that someone noticed that.
That's not true. You have to be harder. It made you all feel expected. I know that deep down you really do care. About me. About everyone. What you do is what defines you. I know you're hard finding answers, but I'm certain you will one day. Then, you'll find even more people you can trust.
Okay. We're in the desert. This is one of Eggman's bases. I don't think it's specifically the base from Sonic Adventure 2. It might be. Or it might be just some generic... It might be just some generic desert base. But this is one of Eggman's bases. The egg pawns are here. I believe this isn't the Force's egg pawn. This is just generic egg pawn. Well, generic samurai egg pawn. I don't know what samurais are doing in the desert.
Raise me, inferior models.
And then we get our first look at Omega. He looks intimidating in this style. And there's Rouge as well.
Evening.
I love how dangerous those robots actually are. If you notice how well they wield those swords.
Raise me, inferior models.
Watch how fast this egg pawn comes on the screen. Watch. The way he's about to attack Shadow, it actually shows how dangerous one of these egg pawns might be. You don't realize how dangerous one might be because in gameplay, you just smash it and move on. There's not much to it. They look like bumbling idiots. Then again, this might be specifically a samurai model. But if you were to take on one of these things, you would probably get seriously injured or if not killed.
Evening, handsome. Didn't expect to see you here.
Yeah, look at how Shadow caught that sword. If you were not Shadow or Rouge, you would have just died there. I love how these are experienced warriors that are dealing with this.
Rouge, what are you doing here?
And see that little slide in Omega?
You here?
That little slide Omega did in the back? Watch this. Watch this on the left.
Rouge, what are you
There he is.
doing here?
There he goes. Just slides off.
Just gathering some intel for gun. I convinced Omega to be my backup. Gathering some
Hold on, was that a Luffy kick? Hold on.
intel for gun.
That kick she just did, that looks like that one kick Luffy did at Marineford where he sent that one Marine captain to another dimension. I know one of you know what I'm talking about. I'll throw the clip on screen real quick.
I convinced Omega to be my backup. What's your story?
I love him.
Oh, here, look here. This is a Hold that thought.
Cool, honestly, but there's not much to look through here.
Know about the spacecraft. I can take you to ship. In return, you're going to have to promise to come to Sonic's birthday party. I'll take that as a yes.
Really weird way to explain why Shadow is at the birthday party, but alright, he's there, I guess.
Now then, interested in raiding a gun base?
We get a little bit of footage of the game. I don't want to I don't want to spoil any game footage here, because I want to experience that for myself. I didn't watch any of the credits. But yeah, that's episode 2. Let's move on to episode 3. Alrighty, here we are with episode 3, To the Ark. Contains flashing lights and strobing content. To the Ark. Let's see here. Let's full screen this real quick. I think I forgot to full screen last episode. We'll be fine. I don't think this is any specific gun base. I think this is just generic gun base. I don't think it's one from a past game or anything.
Oh, fun research. I created you. And when I got you, they sealed you away
For 50 years.
Is that the first time Rouge learns about Shadow's backstory, or is she just going over it in her head or out loud? Shuttle launch ready. Cross-checking launch progress. Whatever that says, it's a bit blurry. I can't quite tell. Omega's got a little piece of scrap duck stuck to his foot. That's hilarious.
Don't get too caught up on any vendettas tonight.
Gun is not my enemy tonight.
I believe this is a new kind of aircraft for Gun, though. It looks really cool.
Just an obstacle in my way.
His little smile here. He's about to have some fun with this.
I call dibs.
Again, Omega calls dibs. I love Omega so much. For an unthinking robot, he expels so much emotion because it's like he wants to destroy, even though he can't want because he's still just a robot. Actually, is there a flicky inside Omega? Does Omega have a flicky or some kind of little rodent, or is he powered by a chaos drive? I love how we actually get to see the soldier inside the mech this time. We don't usually see that. There's not exactly anything on the control panel that we need to break down. I'm trying to find more detail. I think most of this is just really cool visual go burr. I mean, not that that's a bad thing, obviously. There's a really cool detail coming up. There's a really cool detail that I saw. I want you all to look at this for a second. That right there, I believe, is an actual military gun that's used to shoot down unauthorized aircraft. They call it the R2-D2 for obvious reasons, because it looks like R2-D2, but that is actually a type of military weapon. Maybe I can look up a picture of it later. I'll throw it up on screen if I can find it. And we got a bunch of gun beetles here too. Those are nice to see.
Mr. Commander, Abraham Tower, all forces, stand down.
Is Abraham Tower his full name? Because Maria called him Gabe. Abraham. I mean, I guess that could be a nickname of some kind. This is a really nice shot, too, of more of those military weapons. This looks to be in some kind of desert. Maybe it might be the same desert as the Eggman base. I guess it would make sense to have a base close by to keep tabs on each other. Can't exactly tell where this is.
Abe! I brought that intel you requested.
So apparently General Gabe here, or Abe, did Maria call her Gabe or Abe? I'll have to double check.
I brought that intel you requested.
Apparently he wanted information about the Time Eater. I'm pretty sure we don't exactly know where this takes place in the timeline. We know thanks to that one, what was it? We know thanks to Terminal Montage, his funny little ad that he did for Shadow Generations, we know thanks to him that the Time Eater snatches him up after the events of Sonic Frontiers. We don't know if the Time Eater comes back or if it's just reaching into the future to grab him, but we do know that. But we don't know where exactly these 3 episodes take place. But since they want information on the Time Eater specifically, then it's probably or definitely taking place after Sonic Generations the original story of Sonic Generations has finished.
And aided in the destruction of millions of gun assets.
Sorry, but Shadow needed some help saving the world.
If that's the case.
I don't think there's actually any details on screen. I think it's just a picture of the Time Eater. I think that's all we get.
Despite all aspects, he saved the world from life. Should know what was important in the past.
When is Shadow at the rest of the mission? There's only one person who could do that.
True. She was lost to us a long time ago.
These shots are really interesting because it looks like Maria is on Earth, but that can't be. It looks like the same field that Shadow was in at the end of the first episode, but Maria is there. So is this a vision? Is this a memory? Or is this a daydream of Shadow's that he wants to happen? I really hope I do not get copyrighted for this music. I do apologize in advance. I know better than to really doubt Shadow's intuition, but how can he tell that there's a threat on the Ark when he gets a vision of looking at it? Does he have some kind of way of pinpointing that it's on the Ark? And he also mentioned that he has reason to believe it's the Black Arms. He said that in episode 2. So is it possible that he has some kind of way of telling? Because if there is, there's no way of really telling us that he has a way of telling. Is that it? Yes, that is it. And it shows more gameplay here. Alrighty. Well, honestly, I got nothing more to say. I said everything I could really say during the watch. I think that's about it. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe, hit the bell, and of course go check out the original videos on the main Sonic the Hedgehog YouTube account. This is all owned by them. I do not own any of these animations. Go check them out. Go support the original Sonic the Hedgehog, and go buy Sonic Generations. Go buy it. It's a great game. Go do it right now.